right, guys. Oh, put this over here. My phone, gotta check it. Make sure it's not on. Patrice, what's up, what's up, what's up? How you doing? Just getting ready here. What we're doing today, we're making food for the doggy, the furry animal. Because what used to happen, guys, I used to buy my food and feed it regular dog food like what everybody else did. And the dog always sick, always throwing up. Just didn't make any sense. So I was like, what can I do to, I'm a chef. And then I looked at the ingredients, and a lot of the ingredients was just regular food that we cook and we eat anyway. So I'm like, well, if it's regular food, I might as well make it, right? Everything's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Glad to hear that. Again, we're just trying to show anybody that might have an animal of any kind, So I would show you my dog, but it's not allowed in the kitchen. As most people know, everywhere else you can roam, but the kitchen and bed is a no-no. So let me just show you what we're gonna do. So what I do with my dog, right? I pack up the food and have it ready to go at all times, right? So this here is turkey meat. You can do ground beef or, anything like that. Ground beef, ground pork, anything. I happen to use turkey because I have a Frenchie. And the thing about Frenchies, they're highly allergic. So a lot of people would use chicken. You can use chicken, but they're allergic to chicken. So this is just an alternative. If your dog's allergic to chicken, just try turkey. It works. Then I also cut up these veggies ready to go too. And I put these in the freezer, right? So I take one day, cut them all up, put them in the freezer. That way, you have a Yorkie. Yorkies are nice, small dogs too. Do you give them regular food or do you cook for them also? So in here, I have pumpkin, carrots, and sweet potato. That's what's cut up in here already, right? Here I also give them oats. This is raw oats, okay? So we cook this with the rice, and it gives them substance. We have turmeric here, turmeric, however you pronounce it. That's always good for the dog. If I wasn't on camera, I would show you that I give them some little, or you give her dog food. Yeah, dog food if they're okay with it. My dog, like I said, would throw up every time after they get to eat. So, I would be doing a little bit of soursop, but there's people in the house that if they see me using their soursop, it would be a problem. So we're going to pretend we don't give them the soursop powder, but we do. And then I have just regular white rice. You can use brown rice or white rice, okay? So it's simple. And then this is veggie broth, but normally I give him beef broth, okay? But I normally make my beef broth. I just take some bones. You can go to the store and they have the big bones, beef bones already cut up. They're like $6. And you just boil them down into a nice little broth, and then you feed them that. It's really, really useful and helpful for dogs. Okay, so what we're gonna do first and easy, I'm gonna turn on the stove to start browning the meat, okay? So we're just gonna brown this meat. And also I have green peas and I use kale and maybe some celery, it's not necessary. So to add to this, I don't have, and I'm not going to the store, but I'll go get it later. We use either beef liver or chicken liver. David, wagwan. Yeah, I gotta, my eye them bad, so if you see me squinting towards the to the screen, don't think it's just, I just can't see. And I actually have another screen down here that's supposed to be bigger, but it's not working. What's up? We're making food for the dogs, okay? So if you have an animal or anything, it's a video. Even if you don't, it's still a cool video to know, instead of giving them dog food, we give them real food. So anybody that has pets, this is for you, right? If you don't mind, guys, just hit the little 3 dots on the corner, the like button, and that way they can help push this out for me. So I turn it on the stove back here, okay? And all we have is a regular non-stick pan. And what we're gonna do with this, we're gonna brown the turkey meat, okay? So we're going to brown this turkey meat, and then I'm going to use the turkey broth and a little bit of beef bouillon in there, okay? And just to give it a little flavor. Dogs, they don't really need it, but as a chef, you just end up doing these type of things, right? It's not a necessity, but, you know, it can't hurt them. As long as you don't season it like, you know, for humans. Now, if you're in the islands, you know how it goes. The dog's going to eat what we eat. That's just how it works, you know what I mean? But here in the States, you know, we don't really do it like that, okay? So now in this pot here, this is what I'm going to cook the rice and the oats and these stuff. So all I do, there's no rhyme or reason to this. It's real pretty simple. You get this turned on. You want this to be really mushy, right? So a way that I've seen that people have done this, they just put it in the slow cooker and go about their day and come back to it. You know, you can do it that way and then just stir it up and you're good to go. It works just as fine like that too. Okay? So let's get the pumpkin, the carrots, and the sweet potatoes into the pot. We have the fire on both pots. Remember, this is not like you're cooking regular rice. It really doesn't matter how you do this. This is really just, we just need it soft and soggy. We got our oats. We throw our oats in there. Okay? Then we got our rice. Again, we're going to put like a cup of rice. I have a small Frenchie, so this here lasts him a week. If you have bigger dogs, you can just double the portions. And then what you do, you know, you just freeze it. You know, you put some in the fridge. Every meal, we have it bagged out so we kind of know, you know, in case I'm not here, somebody needs to feed him, you know, they don't have a problem. The turmeric, get that in there. Okay. And then I like to put a little bit of the chicken broth in there. And then water. You can use any water you like. Oops, let's see if I can open this. All right. I just happen to like Saratoga. Okay. And just get it in there. I don't know if I have any more in this. Nope. I gotta go get another bottle of water. I gotta get another bottle of water because what we really want to do with this, right? We want to make sure that, so normally when you cook rice, right, it only needs to be right here on your finger, and then you know that your rice is going to be perfect. When you're making it for the dogs, we don't want that. We want it to be mushy rice that we wouldn't eat. You know what I mean? And then now I'm going to just get this meat in. Remember, this is turkey meat. And what I would do later, can't do it now because I don't have it, but later on, I would definitely go ahead and get some either chicken liver, beef kidney, any kind of organ meat. That's what you want. And we use that. So we just take the rest of the chicken broth, put it into the beef, and I'm going to just finish it in here. This is low sodium, guys. Remember, your dogs don't need seasoning. They don't need none of that good stuff, okay? So you don't have to worry about, do you have spices and stuff for the dog? Let me go get another bottle of water, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I can't find a big bottle of water, so we have to use a small bottle. I don't know where the big bottles are. All right, so let's get a spoon here. Let me take this off the fire and give you an idea of what I'm talking about, so you know. So look, see how much water this has? It still needs more, but I don't have any more water. So what I'm gonna have to do is take it from the fridge, I guess. That's it, okay? And get that. All right, let me get some water from the fridge because the fridge has a filter on it. And we only drink filtered water or bottled water. It's not that you have to, but you know, after years of doing it and you get mentally, you just think that's what you need. All right, I actually like a little bit more water because I want this thing to be really, really mushy. So they just, when they eat it, it just melts. So let me just get a little bit more water here, guys. Bear with me. This is the land of the unprepared, right? And there we go. Cover that up, and we should be good to go for a little bit, all right? Now, even with the meat, we're gonna cover that meat up and let that go. For some reason, I think I'm missing something. I can't figure it out just yet, but I know I'll remember in about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. You understand what I mean? Before we're done cooking, I'm sure I'll remember. But for now, I know I'm missing something. So guys, if you don't mind, just hit that little like button. Just recapping again. I like to recap during the video because there's a lot of people coming in and out. So I just want them to know what we're making. So right now we're just making dog food, but very healthy food for our furry friends, okay? None of that processed stuff, you know, that we don't know what's in it. You know, the thing about dogs and cats and these animals, they become part of your life, right? So as much as you say, oh, it's just that, no, they're just like a child, they're like a family member. So you want to make sure you give them the best ingredients and food that you could possibly do. So what I'm doing now, I'm showing you how you can easily make your food for the week. And what I should have done, I guess I could tell you like what the cost of something like that would be, right? So the meat, I get about, what is that? 3 pounds of meat. It cost me about $8 for that turkey meat. And then I use half of it per cook. So each cook, I use half of that, and that's gonna be about, so call that $4, okay? Then we have our pumpkin. You go to any of these stores, the pumpkin's about $1 for, and the amount that we use half of the pumpkin. So we buy half of a pumpkin about this big, and we use half of it. So that's another, what, 50 cents, I guess. The sweet potatoes, another 50 cents worth. The carrots, you know, you can get a bunch for $1. You're only putting in like 2 carrots in there. So at this point, let's just call it $5. So we're in for $5, and then your rice. You can get like a 2-pound bag of rice. You're not using 2 pounds, you know, using half a pound maybe. You know what I mean? So a 2-pound bag of rice is costing you, say, $1.50, if that much, you know. We can call it $2 if you want. So we're at $5.50 so far to make this dog food, okay? And this lasts for the week. If you want to put green peas in there, you can. With my dog, I always give him blueberries, right? So I give him what we're making here now, and then I'll cut the blueberries up and give it to him separately because the antioxidants in there are really, really useful to canines, right? So if you want, you know, give your dog some blueberries or apples as a treat and stuff. But I like to put it on the top. And then I'll also, every now and then, I'll put sardine, okay? Because the sardine, if you don't have the omega-3 or the salmon oil or anything like that, you can give them sardines, and that way they can get it from there, right? So you make it with the meat. Oh, We got to add the beef kidney or the chicken organs, whatever, chicken liver, it doesn't matter. That's super cheap because a lot of people don't eat it. So you know, that's not going to cost you anything. So let's just go out on a limb, right? Out on a limb is costing us about $6. $6, man, to feed your dog so your dog is healthy. You can't even go out and get something to drink for $6 right now. I mean, I don't know where you guys live or where you're from. Maybe you can, but where I'm at, you can't do it. It's impossible, okay? You ain't getting nothing for no $6. Can't happen. So $6 to feed your dog and make sure that they're healthy. Come on, man. So what I'm doing, the meat's going, and that meat was frozen. So we're cooking it from, you know, frozen. Good thing about ground beef and stuff like that, you can cook it frozen. You don't gotta do nothing to it. Just add a little bit of the broth in there, turn the heat up and cover it. Boop, and leave it for about 20 minutes. Turn it down to like a medium heat after it gets up. So once it gets cooking, what we're gonna do, we smash it out and then we really stir fry it to get all of the impurities out of it, you know, the little oils and stuff. So it doesn't have as much fat. Like if you bought ground beef now, you know, you gotta remember, if you're buying ground beef, make sure you buy it with low fat, maybe a 80-20, you know, no, whatever the lowest fat you can get, that's what you wanna do. Because if you buy that extra really, really cheap meat, you're doing a disservice. It's just like you buy that cheap meat and you try and make yourself a hamburger out of it. All you get is just a pan of grease. You know what I mean? You ever try and make a burger with the cheap meat? A grease burger, right? You ain't trying to do that for your dogs. And then once this goes to a boil, okay, this is the rice and the pumpkin and the carrots and the sweet potatoes and the oats. Once that comes to a boil, I'll turn that down, stir it, because sometimes with the oats, if you have it covered, it'll steam up and then it'll overflow. So you got to always keep an eye on that, no matter what you do, right? Once this comes to a boil, we're going to just cover it and let it just roll out. Roll out. You understand? Roll out. That's what we got to do with that, because we just want this to be super, super soft. You know how soft I'm talking about? Imagine you got no teeth. I mean, no teeth at all. None. Zero. Zilch. This. See that? How would you eat? How does your food have to be if you got no teeth? That's how you want it for the Frenchies. Now, if you got a bigger dog, you know, you don't need to worry about it. But Frenchies, they can choke easily. You know, they got these big jaws that look like they could just destroy everything. But when they eat like this, it's weird. It's the weirdest thing in the world. So you want to make sure it's as soft as possible. And and another thing with dogs don't chew like what humans do. So we chew because we have to break down the food and then let it get down, right? That's why we chew. Watch how a dog eats. 2 bites, boom. 2 bites, boom. That's it. They just need to get it down. That's it. So they just, enough to break it, down. So it's just swallow. That's why a lot of times you look at your dog and you're like, oh my God, he's finished, he ate so fast. Yeah, because he's not chewing, man. You don't have to chew. He ain't biting nothing. His tongue, stop, boop, down, gone. What else you got? You got anything else? That's how my dog is anyway. It don't matter what you feed him. You can feed him the biggest meal possible, okay? And guess what happens? He's still looking for food 2 seconds later. Still looking for food. So if you guys got a dog, let me know. Do you guys cook for your dog? Anybody in the chat, do you guys cook for your dog, or do you just, you know, buy food? You don't got no time to be cooking for nobody. All right, let me know what's going on. You know, hopefully after you see this video, you realize, man, it's nothing for me to cook for these dogs. I could just cook for the dog real easy. And then a quick thing, guys, let me just ask you, if you're in here, you're watching this thing, just hit the little buttons, the 3 buttons on the side, and a little like or whatever comes up there. Just press that a couple times. That way YouTube can throw this out in the algorithm for me, and we can get a few more people in here, you know, let them know that, hey, I'm on live. So I wasn't planning to go live because we're going live a little bit later on. You know, I'm making dinner, so I'm going to do a little cook along. I made short ribs already. So I have, well, it's not finished. It's in the slow cooker being cooked now. So pretty much I'm going to make something to go with that. Okay, and that live we're going to be on probably about, I don't know, maybe 7 o'clock or something like that. But I said, okay, hey, let me go live now. Maybe there's some people that, you know, have animals and they have pets and they want to know, you know, can they make good food for their pets or not? You know, so let's do it. Let's see this. I got to cook for him and he's got to eat. You know, maybe you guys could do the same. So it's the easiest recipe in the world. You know what I mean? If you guys want the recipe and any tips, you know, because another thing when you're feeding dogs, you got to remember something with dogs. They also need vitamins and other things that the dog food supposedly is giving them, right? Which a lot of those dog foods is just chemicals. It's just worst thing that could possibly be in there. So you want to make sure that you're aware of that, you know, and add, you know, maybe some vitamin E. There's a bunch of other stuff. So if you guys want the full thing, I just say give me a super chat. Doesn't matter. And then I'll just shoot you over the free guide with all, you know, the recipe that I make for the dog. And you could do it for yours and just have a healthy dog. You know what I mean? Remember, we want them to live as long as possible, you know, and have a beautiful life. You know what I mean? My dog, he's spoiled, okay? He's a spoiled boy, but he's small. He looks like a puppy for a Frenchie. So most Frenchies are, you know, way bigger. He's a small Frenchie, you know, so he gets that puppy thing. So everybody thinks he's still a puppy. Right? So anywhere I go with him, he gets all the attention. You hear what I'm saying to you? Doesn't matter. Anywhere we go, he gets all the attention. Everybody loves him. Again, maybe later on I'll show him, you know, but right now I can't do it because we're on camera. I mean, in the kitchen. And once I'm in the kitchen, no dogs in the kitchen. You understand? It doesn't, sorry, can't do it. You know, there's a little limit there. He knows you stop over there. You know, you can stay and look and smell and take the torture. But right now he's in his cage, just gonna pass out and relax. So another thing with Frenchies, I don't know what kind of dogs you guys have, but Frenchies, they just pass out and relax all day, every day. You know, and wow, somebody looks nice. So, right? So let's get this. Let me just recap, guys, for anybody that's just coming in here. What we're doing, we're making healthy dog food, okay? I just came on live to share this with you guys. You know, we're going to be back later, but, you know, let's go ahead and rock out right now for a little bit. And all it is carrots, sweet potatoes, pumpkin. Pumpkin is very, very essential for your dogs because it just helps them with their gut and helps them use the bathroom a lot easier. And another thing, you have, if let me finish going over the stuff. Rice, okay, so sweet potato, carrots, pumpkin, rice. We're gonna put some green peas in there. We're using turkey meat for our meat. You could use ground beef, you could use ground pork, venison, duck, all those things are wonderful. And we just cooked it in some broth, beef broth you should use. I only had veggie broth, so I'm using the veggie broth. I add a little bit of turmeric. I always pronounce that funny. I was watching back another video I did, and I'm like, turmeric. It's turmeric. So, and turmeric in there, right? You can add celery, kale. You know, later on, sometimes I add kale. I don't cook it as much. I just stir fry it a little bit in just water, you know, to soften it up, and put a little bit on there, and then with blueberries. Okay, that's his diet. And then we add our little vitamins or whatever we're gonna do also, right? So what we're trying to do is get this to boil. Let me just check. All right. So let me show you what's happening with the turkey. So see the turkey? The little fat things coming out. This was frozen. So this is why it's gonna come like this. So even though it's frozen, you don't gotta do nothing to it. So all I do, put it back on, let it go for a little bit more. Those little fat pieces that kind of coming off, I'll take that out of there and then smash it up and then turn the heat up and fry it down. And then what I like to do, I'll show you in a little bit once these stuff is done, if we can ever get this to boil up, you know, right? If we can ever get this to boil up. So this light, right, I gotta have it to make me look good, because there's a window behind me, right? So if I have that window and it's shining in, or sometimes when we're at the other crib, the back windows there, it's too much light. So they said, get this light here, shine it on you, you'll be good to go. Problem with this light is burning, just blasting me like, ah! Right? So I'm burning up, sweating every minute, hot as hell for no reason. Then I got the fire on the back, light, sun on the front. The hell's going on here, boy? Gee whiz. So anyway, let me turn this up just a little bit, because I need this to start boiling and cooking, man. Look, it's not even boiling yet. I don't know if you guys can see that. You see that? It's not even boiling yet. We need that to boil up. And while we're waiting for that, what am I going to do? What I do best. Get some water, man. Water. Water. It's necessary. So guys, what kind of dogs do you guys have? If anybody, does anybody have a dog here? Ah, delicious. Fantastic, right? Hit the little like button for me, please, if you don't mind. Somebody say I can't see you. I can only see someone's shadow. How is that possible, man? How is that possible? Black lab and a boxer. Hey, listen, man. Boxers, labs, I love labs. Labs are super intelligent dogs, right? They're just the most loving dogs in the world. But how do you have a lab? Oh, wait, is it mixed? Is that a mix? Is that a mix? Let me know if that's a mix. Okay. Because boxes are totally different, right? They're a lot of fun, but what's up, Cher? They're a lot of fun, those boxes, but they are full of energy. That's one thing with you know, my friend has a boxer. It's a black lab, and then, okay, got you. My friend has a boxer. His boxer jumps so high, just, you know, excited, not in a negative way. Well, if you're afraid of dogs, it's very negative. But he jumps so high, it's like one of the scariest things in the world, you know? I'm like, bro. And then they need to run, right? I got a Frenchie, and Frenchies don't work like that. They run for a little bit, like, you know, go crazy. They do the zoomies, you know, go nuts. And that's it, done, finished, it's over. Maybe 5 minutes, that's it. They don't need all the walking and stuff. You walk a Frenchie, they're finished. They can't move. All right, so see, it's spilling over like I said it would. So let's get a rag here. All right. So this is the rice here with the pumpkin and the stuff. And because it has the oats in there, it's gonna spill over probably a little bit more, you know? So that's why I gotta be careful with this here. So I'm gonna let it cook up just a little bit more, get a little bit of the water out of it, and then cover it and let it steam down to mush, you know, just straight mush. That's what we need. Yeah, I love labs. Labs are very intelligent. I used to train dogs, right? Way back in the days. German Shepherds, Dobermans, Pit Bulls, you know, all the big boys and stuff. And labs they're like one of the smartest dogs you've ever come across. I'm loving. Russian girl, wagwan, boom, bam, bing, bang. What's up? Yep. So we're making healthy food for the puppies. Okay? Puppy food. So that we can have a healthy dog. So let me check on the meat now, guys. So I'm going to bring this over here just so we can kind of see. So these little, let me show you. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. I'm trying to show it. These little pieces, I want that out of there. Okay. It's just, with the turkey, you don't have as much fat as you would, like I said, with the beef. And then let's see. So this was frozen. Look at this, guys. Watch out. This was frozen. So you do not need to buy it fresh. You could just buy it. What I do, I buy a whole bunch of it, package it up week by week so we know what we're cooking week by week. The veggies, cut them up, put them in the freezer. Okay, so the pumpkin and everything that's going into the rice and oat mixture, we just cut that up. See? And then now what I like to do is try and get this minced up as much as I possibly can. Okay? Because my greedy boy, if you leave these in big chunks, you ain't gonna have nothing left. You understand? Nothing left. Nothing left. All right, gotcha. So let me just smash this out real quick. And get this back on the stove. So we have this rice boiling up. I'm gonna turn it down now to low. Even though it's full of water still, I want this to cook out to mush. Remember I told you, you gotta remember, the way we're making this is like you have no teeth. That's it. How would you eat? That's how we need this to be. You understand? Okay, good. As long as we got that clear. So we're gonna cover it, watch it again just in case the oats makes it frizz up. I don't want it to mess up my calendar. Another thing, let me show you something, because I know the Share Organics, I noticed you're in the chat. Look, I got your product. Okay, so Share Organics has this thing, it's called Perfect. Perfect. Isn't that dope? So not perfect, perfect. All right. And what this is to keep the coat of the dog real shiny and beautiful. It's like one of the best products. It's all natural made. It's a natural oil, no preservatives, no chemicals in there. And it's just one of my favorite things to do. When I put this on Musa, Brian, today we're making food for the puppy, okay? Showing you how to make food so you don't have to feed them the dry food or the highly chemical dog food, okay? So we're showing you that you can make regular food that we eat for the dog or for the animal, okay? So if you have an animal or, you know, well, mainly dogs. I mean, you know, cats, they don't care, you know, but the dogs definitely, you know, they're finicky. And then later on tonight, we'll be back on live doing, you know, regular cooking. I have short ribs going. So I'm probably just gonna make like, I don't know, mashed potatoes, maybe some kind of greens. I don't know, whatever. But we'll be back later on for if you wanna, you know, join for that kind of thing. So as I was saying, Share Organic, yeah, there it goes. See, Share Organics in the comments, guys. This perfect. You could check her out on her site. Her site is shareorganics.com, man. She's got some really good stuff, organic products for people, but she also has for the dog this product here, okay? So she does skincare. But this one for your pet, it's incredible. One of my favorite products to use, hands down by far, you know. So again, remember, we got the sunny beaming. So we got to drink our water and stay drinking. Recap. We love to do recaps, guys. We have turkey meat, but remember, you can use any kind of meat you want. Okay, hold on a minute. Let me do something here real quick. Let me pin this. How you pin this thing? Doesn't show me how to pin. I don't know. All right, I gotta learn this YouTube thing so I can know what to do, how to do it. You know. Hey, Ann, what's up? Wagwan. Right now we're making healthy dog food for our pups, you know what I mean? Our big dogs are the big monster dogs if you have them. I have a Frenchie, a little baby guy, but you know. So as I was saying, I'm using turkey meat. I like to use turkey meat because of allergies, right? So my dog has allergies and he's allergic to chicken. You know, most dogs are not allergic to chicken, but Frenchies are. So if you have any kind of Frenchie, anything like that, 9 out of 10, they're gonna be allergic to chicken at some point, okay? So you gotta figure out all these other stuff that they don't eat. I have a friend that they have a Frenchie and they literally have to eat, what is that? Venison. Venison. You know how much venison costs you? Hmm? Hmm? Yeah, Milky, you know what? I just went over the price for this. So the price for this that we're doing today is about $6. Okay, so you know when we say we can't afford it, yeah, well, we're not drinking no, a drink today, or maybe we're not gonna eat some fast food today. You know what I mean? Like we can afford it if we really think about it. You know what I'm saying? If you buy the dog food, I don't know. So anyway, it's about $5. What does a pack of dog food cost you? Maybe $14, $20 or something like that, right? How long does that last? I don't know. We're making a week's worth of food right now, okay? So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the $6, we're making a week's worth of food right now for $6. So what's in this particular thing is just rice, okay? So you could use white rice. We're using white rice. You could use brown rice. Brown rice would be a little bit more expensive, but it's white rice. Then we use pumpkin, fresh pumpkin. We use fresh sweet potatoes and fresh carrots. Those combined are not going to cost you more than $1.50. You know, like I did the breakdown where you buy the carrots, it's like $1 for a bunch of carrots. You're only going to use 2 out of that bunch. You see what I'm saying? If you're buying the meat, we're using turkey. You know, now granted, if you're using beef, it might. Yes, you're right about the abundance of pumpkins around right now. People just wasting them. It's crazy. If you're using meat like beef, that could get a little bit expensive just because of the price of beef now. But a good alternative is you can use chicken, okay? You can use turkey. We just can't use chicken because of the dog is allergic to chicken. But if your dog might not be allergic to chicken, ETB zombie, tell your wife to call me. It's Big Dipper from high school. Gotcha. All right, I'll do it. Wife, call Big Dipper from high school. Ah, funny. So anyway, leave another comment because what I like about these stuff, at least it gets my video out. Can you at least like the video though when you do this? You know, right? You have a cat. Yeah, you know what? Me, I love cats, but I'm allergic to them, right? So certain cats, I'm allergic to them, but I love cats. Anthony, what's up? Right now, I'm making dog food and a healthy version for your pet. And the way we're doing it is that we could just do it on a cost-effective way, okay? So we're just trying to be real cost-effective and make it so that it's affordable and healthy. All right. So we're doing the dog food now, and then later on tonight we'll come back on and we'll do regular food for everybody. Okay. So what's in there again? Like I said before, just keep going over it so everybody can understand. Rice, pumpkin, sweet potato, and carrots. And then we have for the meat we have turkey meat. We're gonna add some green peas to it, and then we'll add a little bit of what do you call it? I don't have it right in front of me. Could you pass me that right there, those two things? Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we have vitamin E and we have kelp. Okay? So vitamin E and kelp, I add those to it also. And those are nutrients that your dog needs and stuff. You understand? It's over there. All right? So that's what we got going on right now. Hey, Milk, thank you. I appreciate that. Your $5 super chat. Leave me a DM or whatever, and I'll shoot you over the recipe and the tips for what I got going on back here, if you don't mind. I appreciate that big time. Thank you. Respect. So, guys, like I said, We just want to make sure our puppies are healthy because they're part of our family, right? So, you got it?
No, where is it?
Hold on, let me, 1 second. I'm being bothered by the young lady over there.
Thanks.
Make sure you bring me back something. All right, guys, back again. Back again, back again, back again. Put me over there. Hey, listen, we got a lot of people coming in, and comment where you want to comment because it pushes me into the algorithm. I don't care. This is the wrong guy. It doesn't matter to me. Could you hit the like button on the side if you don't mind, please? So let's go ahead and check the meat. It should be done by now. Let me show it to you. All right. So what we got going on here. So this meat is cooked. Okay? This is the ground turkey. Gotcha. It's ground turkey, guys. Oh. Yo, one thing I could tell you, this thing smells good, man. Hey, thank you so much. Peace out, Milky. Thank you. I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. Respect, man. Hey, make sure you subscribe, please. All right, look here. So we got this going on. See it there? Just smash this out. Now you see it still has some liquid in there, right? What I'm gonna do, get this back on, and we're gonna turn the fire up. Turn it up, turn it up, little darling, turn it up. You understand? You can turn it up. Turn up the fire. And then that's it. And then once we're done with this, we just get this into a bowl. This is the easiest thing and one of the healthiest things you can make for your dog. I'm trying to tell you, man. It's going to take you about an hour to cook. But prep time, what I do on Sundays, I prep everything, get it going right away. Okay? That's what I do on Sundays. I prep it up, and we're good to go. Okay? Cut up all your veggies as far as the pumpkin, the carrots, and the sweet potato, whatever else you're going to put in there. And then just put it in a Ziploc bag, boop, freezer. And I do the whole month. So I do the whole month one time, freezer. And I just write on it the date. Okay? Always make sure you date your stuff so you know when, as a chef, we date everything. Okay? So that way you use the stuff oldest first. Okay? What's up from Russia? Boom, bam. Miami, we say, where's everybody from? Where's everybody from? I see Russia. Russia in the house. You're like the second or third Russian person here. What time is it in Russia? Because it's 3 o'clock here where we are, right? So, what I was saying, you make sure you date London. London. I used to go to a place called Battersea, I think it's called. Texas, Trevor, yes. Big hats, horses, extreme heat. I got a lot of family out there in Texas, out there in Houston. And I went to a place in Texas called Plano. How do you pronounce that? Plano, or whatever. It was nice. Plano. What do you mean? Battersea, boom, 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 boom. But guess what? Arsenal, we say all day, every day. You understand? Right? My family's funny for all the soccer fans. I'm Arsenal, my brother's Liverpool, and my cousin is Chelsea. So you know how crazy that is. You understand? You know, that's just a mad thing, right? So when we get together, it's crazy. From where? Krasnodar. I don't know, where's that? Where is that? Where on the planet is that? Right now, I'm in Miami. Okay? You know Miami? Miami. The food is over here, boss man. See? We're making it for the pup. Okay? Can't be drunk off water. That's that. Sparkling water. You're drunk. Martin, water. It's too early. It's 3 o'clock over here. I don't know about where you guys are. You understand? It's 3 o'clock here, man. We don't live like that. We live pure. You understand? I ain't telling you can't enjoy. I've had my share of enjoyment, but, you know, that ain't water. Oh, it's water. Yeah, right? If you see this big bright light that's shining in my face, you would know the last thing you want to do is drink alcohol. That's not something you want to do. It's a bad idea. All right? So if you wonder, oh, maybe it's because I'm energetic. I'm just naturally energetic. That's how it goes, you know? Life. You know what I mean? Happy on life. So, Martin, you must be high or you drunk, but you're deterring me from the good stuff. Whatever you want to think I am, man. It's up to you, man. I don't have any more energy. Yeah. So, but Martin, at least you can do while you're worrying about all of that, guys, is just tap the little button on the side and like the video then. Even if you think I'm drunk or high, whatever you say, hit the button, right? So look, guys, let me show you this one. I got to go get the cup holders for this. I'm going to take this off just for a second to show you. So you see how this is coming along? This is the rice and the oats. Rashan, what's up, what's up, what's up? Martin, don't go nowhere, where you run go? Don't run nowhere, don't run. Stay and hang out with us. All right, look. So you see how this looks, guys? This is how it's coming along good. This is how we want it. We want this to just fluff up. We don't want this to cook like you're making good rice. North Carolina, Barbara, what's up? North Carolina, boom, right? So see there, look. A little bit longer, we're gonna let this water cook out just a little bit more. Again, the way I explained it to you guys, you want it to be the texture if you had no teeth, okay? If you had no teeth and you needed to eat something, how would you make it? What would that consistency be like? That's how you want that food. All right, let's take this off and show you what's going on here. So as you can see, this is the ground turkey and it's dried out. So this is what we want here. Had this been ground beef, what would have happened? You would have probably had a bunch of oil here and you would have to drain out the oil. Ground beef is healthy for dogs, but you just got to buy a better quality beef. And that's where the cost of this, CC, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? You know, that's what it's going to go on. Yes, who don't like James Brown music? But guess what happened to me, Martin? I put on music the last time I was on live, and I forgot I was on YouTube, because normally I might do a TikTok, and TikTok you can have music. And guess what they did? Silence the video. Cece, we're making food for the puppies, okay? We're making pup food. And right now we have ground turkey. Over here we have rice, pumpkin, carrot, and sweet potatoes. And we're gonna add some green peas to it. And we put some oats in there and turmeric, right? And then we're just gonna make a nice mixture. What's up, what's up? And what this cost us about $6, okay? Kathleen, wagwan, $6. Later on, I'll be back on live, probably around 7 o'clock. I have short ribs going for about, 4 hours now. I'm gonna do it for another 2 hours. And then I'll be back on and show you the sides and stuff that I'm gonna be making. But this is wonderful. Make my dog food. Yeah, Brussels sprouts are good. Organ meats are, okay, so I also said that, so that's good. Yeah, cat food, I'm sure it's a similar thing, it's just gotta be a little bit different, you know what I mean? The cat food. But for me, the organ meat, I gotta tell you this, I use chicken liver or I use beef kidneys, beef liver. I just don't have any. And one thing that I love with this channel that I love to do, guys, is even if I don't have something, doesn't mean that we can't make it. You understand? What you gave them, raw I say that really. Oh my gosh. You know, a lot of people tell me I should do raw with my Frenchie, but he's gonna be what? I think 3 years old now. I think I'm past that. You know, just past that. He can't do that anymore. You know, they said I can, but I just prefer to do this. So let's just get this going. And technically, guys, this rice and pumpkin and the carrots and stuff is cooked, right? It's cooked already, but again, I want it to be really, really soft, so that's why I'm holding it on. Yeah, yes, lamb liver. Let me tell you, I had lamb liver because we have farms around here, so we have lamb, fresh liver. I actually have a video on that. I didn't post it on YouTube yet, but maybe I should find it and go in and post it. Yeah, pumpkin is very important for dogs and their digestion system, okay, guys? So you never leave pumpkin out of the diet. Like most of the cooks that you'll see that's making homemade food, if you can't get fresh pumpkin, they'll use the pumpkin puree. Personally, I just feel like if we're gonna take the time to cook fresh for your animal, you might as well just go all the way. Okay, so I'm not gonna use canned, pumpkin. But I know a lot of dog owners that do it with no problem. Let me just say that. I don't want to act like it's an issue if you use it. It's not at all. Just that I think as a chef, it's just hard for me to do something like that. You know what I mean? I got to give them what I would eat. So it's just like when we do catering, okay? We do catering. I go to the farm. I take the time to pick all the veggies and stuff. I got a video that I'm editing now where we went to the farm. We picked all the tomatoes and stuff and all the peppers, the cucumbers, everything. You know, I don't have to do that. I could go and, buy it. But the best thing, I always say, what would I eat for myself? I like to extend that. So whether that's for guests, animals, whoever, let's just give them what we would eat. I can't buy some fast food today, or I can't buy a drink today. That's okay. Sweet potatoes are also very important too. That's why we have the sweet potatoes in here and the pumpkin and the carrots. Okay, we don't go crazy on the carrots though, but we have it in there. And then for toppings, for me, you can give your dog a little white yogurt if you want. Dairy free, of course, just plain, no flavor or anything. That helps. Or I like to give blueberries. Blueberries I've found has helped with the digestion and any stomach problems. One thing with Frenchies, they have a lot of issues with their stomach, and if you see your dog licking the paws or scratching or itching, 9 out of 10, it's the gut. Okay, that's what's causing them. So they don't have the right probiotics in there. They're missing some kind of nutrient. So even though we do this, we still got to add other stuff. I just showed you just two of the things that we add, which is the kelp and the vitamin E. But there's other stuff, like whoever wants it, your super chat, I'll send you the guide for it and stuff, Yeah, they digest carrots. So that's okay. They digest carrots, but you still need the carrots for the vitamin C and all those stuff. What I learned to do with carrots, as with this, I cut the carrots really, really thin. What I should have done, I should have actually showed the chopping up process. So the sweet potato, I just make those in cubes, and we're just gonna smash those out, right? The same with the pumpkin, okay? J squared, use carrots, peas. Yeah, chickpeas is actually good too. And then the carrots, I slice those really thin. I mean, really, really thin. Okay, so they're easier to break down and digest. Okay. So you can use broccoli. What you got in there? Green beans. I use green peas. The reason why I don't use the broccoli and the Brussels sprouts as much as I used to is because it makes the Frenchie gassy, right? So when I had my Frenchie on dog food, I bought the highest quality dog food, the most expensive stuff you could find. He would eat the dog food and then throw up immediately. Immediately. I just thought it was normal after a while. I took him to the vet. They're like, yeah, that's how it goes. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I've never seen other dogs do this, but that's fine. And then he was gassy. I mean, like, You know what I'm saying? Like, it was too much. Dobermans. I used to train Dobermans back in the days. Dobermans are super, 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 super smart. I actually got into dogs because a guy had a Doberman. He had a Doberman that was so smart. I took him down to New York. We were out in, I think, Pennsylvania, where it was. We drove to New York, and I took him to try and get his dog into a movie. That's how intelligent the dog was. What's up, Peter? Right? I mean, just unbelievable. And he's the one that taught me how to train dogs and stuff like that. You know? So what I was saying, the Brussels sprouts and the other things, they actually get the dog gassy. Kenya, go on, Kenya. Native pet probiotics, is that over the counter? Does anybody use the dog is human? I see a lot of that promotion on my Instagram all the time, you know, but I don't know if it's good or bad, you know. I can't remember the probiotic that I use. Oh, you buy it online. Okay. What's the cost for Native Pet? I'll look it up. You know, I'm always interested. You know, it's very important to keep the gut right for your dog. That's one of the hardest things to do. But whenever you find a product that works, you got to stick to it. Like, you have to stick to it. Keep on that product right there. I'm telling you, man. Because they'll be scratching, they're itching, and there's nothing you could do. You'll take them to the vet, you'll spend all this money. They'll give you so much medication, crap stuff, and you just, you know, $300-400. And when you go with a Frenchie to the vet, I'm going to tell you this right now. It's like you drive into a dealer with a Rolls Royce and think you're going to get a discount. It just doesn't happen, you know. Yeah, they put so much stuff in the cat food and everything. See, that's what it was. So when I looked in the ingredients in the dog food, I realized a lot of the ingredients that they say is in there, stuff that we can make. And then a bunch of stuff, I don't know what it is. So I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Why am I wasting time buying this dog food, right? It doesn't make any sense. It cost me about $6, like I said, for the week, okay? So it's worth it for the month, you know? And like I say, you just make sure you do everything one time, okay? You get the dog food, the ingredients, you cut them up, put them in the freezer. And then what you do once I'm going to mix this together, show you how we mix it together. You just portion it out if you want. That's it, okay? It could stay in the fridge for, I'm going to tell you, maybe 4 days. You know, nothing's going to happen. It's a dog, you know, they have a different digestive system than us. And then the other 2-3 days, you put those in the fridge, you just thaw them out. In the freezer, sorry, and then you just thaw them out and give it to them. That's it. Every dog knows when you're cooking for them, okay? Let me tell you something right now. It's just that my dog is not allowed in the kitchen. If there was, it would be right here by the foot, just, you know what I'm saying? Yep. Be right here by my foot, okay? They know when it's their time, like when it's their food. Like, he knows when it's his food, you know. He has a different look. Ponifeno is also good. Okay. Hey, listen, there's a good thing about this live, guys. I'm showing you what I do and interacting with you guys. I'm learning what else is out there and what, you know, what everybody else is doing with their pets, you know. That's what's beautiful about this. Let me check this. Okay, so there's 1 or 2 things we could do with this. Let me show it to you guys. So, look, see that? It looks like this because of the oats that we have in here. Cupcake pans and freeze them, that's smart. See? So now what I could do, I could let this go ahead and cook. Hey Pamela, what's going on? I can let this cook still, some more, or we could just drain it in a strainer, you know, and then put it away. It's real simple. Okay. So I think what I'm gonna do with this though is just turn it up a little bit more, let the water cook out just a little bit more. And then after this, I'll just drain this, right? And once I drain it, we'll be good to go. Let me just turn up this fire just a little, and I'll even leave the cover off. Right? Turn the fire up a little bit to dry it out some, and then we leave the cover off. Okay? Torn Daniel, wagwan, 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 what's up, what's up, what's up? Hey, all right, Kathleen, thank you, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. You guys don't forget to subscribe. You know, we'll be back on later on tonight, of course, you know, but we'll be doing food, just regular cooking. I have short ribs already going and stuff, so, all right. So if you don't mind, just come back later around 7 o'clock and hang out if you're not doing anything. Thank you, Kathleen. Appreciate that so much. All right, guys, so what I'm gonna do, you know what, maybe I'll just drain this in the meantime, right? And then just get it mixed up, good to go, and we'll be almost ready. So just give me a second. Let's get these stuff moved out the way. And we're gonna drain this rice with potatoes. Let me just show it to you one last time, what it looks like. See there? See how this is? All right, Joe, what's up, well, go on. See? I can drain this now. So all I do is empty it into the strainer. And what we want to do, we just want to get out as much water as possible, guys. As much water as we can possibly get out. And then let me just rinse the pot just a little so it's easier to wash. Because if you don't wash this right away with those oats, you're going to be in problems. Let's turn this off. London. What time is it in London right now? It's 3 o'clock where we are right now. What time is it in London, guys? It's 3 o'clock. Right? So I'm just straining this out. Shaking it, straining it. And this is the simplest part. Then I'll get it in here. And rinse this off. You want to rinse these things while you're going, because let me tell you something. If you don't rinse this off, it's going to be hard to wash out. So just rinse it as best as you can. It's not a full wash, but it's enough that it's not going to hurt me when I get off this live. All right, guys. So here goes the mix up, mix up, mix up. Right? See this? So what I'm going to do now is start kind of smashing the potatoes and the pumpkin. Okay? So we're just going to kind of smash them a little bit. So it's almost like a porridge consistency. So if you guys ever eat porridge, it's the best way. And that's because of the oats that we have in there. Okay? But this doesn't leave your dog gassy. It keeps them nice and fit and able. Now we're going to take the meat. Okay? Let's get the meat in there. So this is just turkey meat that we stir fried up. It was frozen. We put it in the pot with some, what did we have in there again, guys? Veggie broth, but you could use beef broth or bone broth. Bone broth is actually the best thing to use, to be honest with you. And then look, guys, just give this a stir, mix up. And then what I'll do later is add some beef liver or some beef kidney or chicken livers. Well, not really chicken liver because he's allergic to the chicken. So beef liver. And all we do with the beef liver, we just fry it up, you know, cook it. We cut it up really small pieces, fry it up, and then we put it and we chop it up even smaller and then put it on there. And the reason is because I have a Frenchie and they choke easily. You got to watch them for every little thing. And this is it. And then we're done. And what I do with this now, I just go ahead and I feed him this, okay? And I feed him with blueberries. Maybe I'll put a piece of salmon so he gets the omega-3s and, you know, or salmon oil if I have it. A little bit of coconut oil every now and then. And kelp, vitamin E, and some other little vitamins we use, you know. And if you have probiotics, you should use that too. Because when you make food for your dog, you got to remember, he's going to be missing a lot of stuff that he otherwise would need. Okay? Now let me go get a little bowl. So this. So he normally gets 2 bowls, you know, out of it. And just take my time. Oops. It's in here. Look at this. You know, he's right on the edge of the kitchen because it's like he knows his food. You know what I mean? Like he knows, hey, man, that's mine. What's going on? Well, first of all, buddy, it's way too hot. Okay? So you can't even get none, even if I wanted to give you some. So, how often do you guys feed your dogs? Like once a day, twice a day? My dog eats twice a day. Once at 11 o'clock, and then again at 7. So, what do you guys do? All right, look here. So this is it. Some cost-effective, healthy, delicious food for our furry friends. So guys, I forgot to put the green peas and the kale in there, okay? So there is a problem, but it's an easy, fixable problem, okay? So because I know that I forgot it, all I gotta do is when I cook the beef liver, so now, normally, this is a little bit less than what I normally get. Normally I get that, let me show you, and that. Okay? So normally we get this, this, and this. And this would be what he would eat today. But it's okay. Let's get these to the side. And that's it. So guys, that's that. Let me just recap with you guys what we did today. And hey, Angelina. Tuna, chicken. Okay, so I didn't use chicken. I used turkey meat because I have a Frenchie, and Frenchies are highly allergic to chicken. A lot of them, not all of them, but you know, out of 10 Frenchies, I'm gonna say 7 is gonna be allergic to chicken. So you got to find what they can eat. You know, like I said earlier, sometimes, you know, you got to get them stuff like venison and different, you know, wild meat for them, you know, that they're not allergic to. So we use turkey meat, and then we use sweet potatoes, pumpkin, carrots, and rice. And then we use a little turmeric, okay? And I would add green peas and some kale, usually, and then any kind of, you know, organ meat, beef. So that could be liver, kidney, heart, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna add that later. I just didn't have any today and I just felt like going live, okay? So, and then the last thing we're gonna do, like I explained to everybody, with my dog, I feed him blueberries when but separately. So I'll slice the blueberries, you know, maybe about 4 or 5, no more than that. And then give him his food and then a little side of the blueberries. We might, you know, a drizzle of coconut oil, you know, if we have salmon oil or sardines, I'll put a sardine on there, whatever. But I don't go too crazy with his diet. A lot of people tend to want to give their dog a variety of food. It's a dog, he doesn't need it. Trust me when I tell you, you know, I've raised dogs, I've trained them. It doesn't matter. They'll eat anything. If you're in the islands, the dog's eating house food. You're not making separate food for the dog. The dog is eating house food. So whatever we have, whatever's left over, that's what the dog's eating, and they get along just fine. You know what I mean? But I had to start cooking his own food because he was just throwing up the dog food the dry food that I would buy. And what I realized is the ingredients were just, they said it was pumpkin, lamb, all these things, okay? That's what they said it was. So I said, well, if that's all it is, then I can cook it. So what we just did was about $6 per serving. You understand? So, this what I just did is gonna last him a week, okay? So, all you gotta do per week is just not buy a drink or, French fries at McDonald's. McDonald's nowadays, you try and buy a Big Mac sandwich, at least here in Miami, it's running you like $13, $14 for a meal. So, okay, I won't do that. Instead of that, I'm gonna just make some healthy food for my little baby, right? So, again, I just wanted to come on here and just kind of go through this. I know it's a chef page, but we're cooking, right? So we can cook for the animals. I can show you what's good. And let me just plug this one more time. Only reason I'm plugging this is because I use this a lot, and I think this is a really dope product. It's called Perfect, and it's from shareorganics.com. And what I do, it gives them the shiniest coat ever. With Frenchies, they shed a lot, if you guys don't know. I don't know if you have dogs that shed, but Frenchies, a couple things, they shed, they snore, and they fart. That's it. So we got rid of the snoring and the shedding using this product here, Perfect. It's on our website. It's great. But the snoring, that ain't going nowhere. And when we say snoring, we're talking about like a human being snoring. I'm not talking about snoring like I'm talking about like you think there's another human being with you, like what's going on? Who else is in the house type snore. Like, it's crazy. Nobody told me that when we went and got him, but he's too cute. God darn it. He's just so cute. And then when he gives you them puppy eyes, what are you gonna do? All right, man, go ahead and snore, man. Whatever, do your thing. I got you. So anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Not today, but this live. I'll be back at 7 o'clock, okay? So do me a favor and subscribe if you're not subscribed. We got some short ribs already going, okay? I was gonna show it, but I'm thinking like, how long will short ribs take on a live? I can't do short ribs on a live. So we got short ribs going. So I'm gonna make a side for it. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, if it's gonna be mashed potatoes with garlic, but I don't even know. And then I have greens that I know definitely I want to do. So we have mustard green, turnip greens, and collard greens. Okay, and we're going to do that without meat. So, just be something to come hang out. So I'll be back at 7 o'clock. I don't know what that is, where you're from, where you are, but it's 3 now, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 hours from now, we'll be back on live. 4 hours. 4. You got it? All right? So thanks for hanging out with me. Everybody that super chat, I'll shoot you over the free recipe that I just did and the guide and everything. But just let me know who you are, because one thing with this thing, it doesn't let me save the lives, and I don't know how to get it. So can you just shoot me a DM, please, so I can shoot that over to you right away. And everybody, I love you guys, and thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. If this is cool, I'll do some more dog recipes and stuff. There's a lot of other little stuff that we do that's pretty cool for him too. So if this is something that you guys like also, because a lot of us are pet lovers, man, and pet owners, you'd be surprised. So, all right. But right now, I got to go, and I'll be back 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Miami time, 7 p.m. So please subscribe to the channel. Okay, so it'll shoot you out a notification. Before you guys get off here, can you just hit the little 3 buttons on the right and hit the like, so that YouTube knows that there's a reason for me to be out here on this thing, okay? If you don't mind, it costs you nothing to do that, okay? Nothing. I don't even know if you did it or not. It just costs you nothing. It's just from your heart, You understand? From your heart. Imagine somebody asks me if I'm drinking because I have energy like this. Is that weird, right? That's weird. Okay. So anyway, guys, I love you. See you guys at 7. I'm out. Peace.